A bit of a different one today. I am going to give you some anime recommendations. Hopefully, most of these you have not seen. And if you're new to anime, this is perfect. So, yeah, enjoy and please do subscribe. I'll give you one kiss. That's how it works, right? I don't make the rules. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to break it down by demographic or genre, the most popular demographics and genres. And then I'm going to give you an obvious pick, a must-watch, and a less obvious pick. And a bit of a caveat is about 80% of what I'm recommending, I have seen most of or completed, but there are a few genres that I haven't fully explored, so I've had to put in extensive research to find shows that people really enjoy, and I'm recommending them, and I've added them to my list. So, I even recommend it to myself. Starting with Isekai, a genre I'm pretty well versed in. The obvious pick for me is ReZero. It would have been Sword Art Online, but ReZero is better, and I think more popular. Basically, it's about a guy named Subaru who is transported to another world, hence it being an isekai. And upon entering this world, he gains the ability to reset time when he dies. That doesn't sound like too interesting of a premise, but trust me, it's good. And then a must-watch, I know I just mentioned it, for me is Sword Art Online. I do have another must-watch. I've broken my own rule. This one is 4. I do have 4 isekai shows. Sword Art Online is a must-watch because even though most people say it's bad, Season 1 is pretty good, and you just have to watch it. It's like a rite of passage, and you have to be in on the memes. You have to understand the memes, so watch it. And then the proper must-watch is Konosuba. Also quite a popular show, but very highly rated and widely spoken about. Konosuba is like a parody isekai where a dysfunctional party teams up to fight a demon king, and it's very good. I don't want to say any more to spoil it, but you will enjoy it. And then my less obvious pick is The Imminence in Shadow. It's not like a really obscure deep cut or anything, but it is not nearly as popular as the other shows I've mentioned, so there's a good chance you haven't seen it. I personally haven't watched it. It's one of the shows I did research on, but I have seen people love it because it's really self-aware and really funny, on top of being a good isekai, so we'll watch that together. Not literally. I'm not coming to your house, and please don't come to mine. Thank you. The next genre is mecha anime. The obvious pick, obviously, is Gundam. There's so much Gundam out there to watch, and there are recap movies if you don't want to watch the full long-ass series from the 70s. and 80s and so on. And then the must-watch is also a really obvious pick for me, and that is Code Geass. I know you've heard so much about it, even if you haven't seen it. And if you have seen it, you know what's up. Great show. I don't want to talk too much about the shows, especially if I've seen them, because then I'm going to go on a rant and spoil everything. And then my less obvious pick is actually still a pretty popular show, and technically is Gundam, but removed, and that's Iron-Blooded Orphans. This is like a top 10, maybe even top 5 anime for me. It's so fucking good. And if you don't cry during that, you are a heartless sociopath and you should get tested. The next genre is one I'm not too well versed in. And I've not seen any of these shows, but I've done the research. And that is Slice of Life. I do want to get into Slice of Life, but I feel like there's so much anime out there. Like, I need to watch all the bangers before I move on to Slice of Life. The obvious pick is Hyoka. Even as a non-Slice of Life watcher, I've heard of Hyoka. The must-watch, according to people's ratings and the way people talk about it, is Mushishi. Mushishi? I don't know how you pronounce that. I'm just white. Apparently, it is super philosophical and also very tranquil and vibey. So, it kind of does appeal to me. And then the less obvious pick is Yuru Camp. It is literally just an anime about girls relaxing and camping. And I wish I was relaxing and camping right now. So, yeah. It's also rated very high. And like most Slice of Life, it's very cozy and vibey. The next genre, a popular one, romance. Now, this is where you need to be careful recommending romance shows, because some people are very picky about their romance. So, I've tried to do my best here. Starting with the obvious pick, Your Lie in April. I don't want to spoil anything about it, but the music's amazing. The tension between the characters is great. And the impact emotionally, insane. But it's also popular, so You probably knew that. The must-watch for me is Kaguya-sama. The whole premise of the show is two students battling it out to get the other student to confess their love first. And it's very funny and very clever. And is a must-watch. And then the less obvious show is also kind of popular, but I've not seen too many romances, so I had to suggest this one. Not saying it's bad. There is probably better out there, but I wanted to recommend what I've seen or I'm currently watching. And that is The Dangers in My Heart. It's basically about a loner boy who, with really dark thoughts, who gradually falls in love with the female lead in the show. If you can get past the first few episodes, it does get better. It starts off really dark and like really overemphasized for what boys go through in puberty, just thoughts-wise. It is weird at times, but it gets good. The next genre is horror. Now, I have to say this is a genre that does not always reflect well in anime. There are a lot of terrible horror shows out there, so I've had to be a bit sneaky with some of these recommendations because a lot of these aren't out and out horror, they just have horror elements. Sue me, I didn't want to recommend anything bad. The obvious pick, again, don't sue me, it does have horror elements, is Tokyo Ghoul. Yeah, I know. Ooh, this guy stinks. We get it, okay. The must-watch is another caveat. The must-watch is not a show, it's a movie. Stay right where you are. It's pretty famous, I'm not gonna lie, but it's amazing. One of the best anime movies I've ever seen. Perfect Blue. Now again, not out and out horror, but pretty fucking scary and really psychological, which is actually the next category, and it could have gone in there, but I have shows for that. So yeah. And then the less obvious is Mononoke. Not Princess Mononoke, just Mononoke. It's basically about a medicine seller who exorcises demons and is very highly rated. So enjoy. Now for the thriller slash psychological. I know Perfect Blue could have gone in here, but there's actual shows that fit in here perfectly. So starting with the obvious. Death Note. Yeah, I know, you've probably all seen this. If you haven't, please go watch it. It's amazing. Obviously, you don't need me to tell you that. The must watch is Steins Gate. Haven't seen it. It is on my list. But the amount that people talk about this and it being so good makes it a must watch. Everyone says it's a must watch, so I'm just reiterating those thoughts. I really need to be in the mood for scary shit, so, or really psychological shit. That's why I haven't seen it yet, but it is on the list. And then the less obvious for me is something I did start recently, and that's Rainbow. It's basically about a group of boys post World War II that get put in a reform school and they're prisoners. And yeah, I don't want to say too much, but that shit is fucking dark and sad. And so far, so good. So that's my less obvious recommendation. Yeah, bet you've never heard of it. If you have, show off. Okay, fantasy. You know how hard it is to find a fantasy, like standalone fantasy show? There's always other genres attached to it. Like, for instance, for my obvious pick, it's a shonen action fantasy. But fantasy is part of it, and that is Black Clover. Now, I have seen a lot of Black Clover, and I did pause it, but it is still a great show. I just watched too much of it too soon, or too quickly, so I had to take a break. But do watch it, it is good. Especially if you like magic. The other obvious pick, if you want more fantasy, but then this leans towards isekai as well, is Mushoku Tensei. You've obviously heard of it. I haven't seen it, but everyone raves about it. I'm not going to put it in must watch because apparently there is some weird sexual stuff in there. So yeah, do with that what you will. That's why it's not in must watch. But the must watch is truly a must watch. And that is Fate. I've seen most of the shows and the movies, and Fate is fucking great. Some shows are better than others, like Stay Night is the GOAT. But yeah, if you want to see the dopest urban fantasy in existence, watch all of Fate, please. You won't regret it. And then the slightly the less obvious, is something you've definitely seen if you're just scrolling on Netflix, but you may have not clicked it. And that's Delicious in Dungeon. I also haven't seen it, but it has been highly recommended by a friend of mine who has impeccable anime taste, way better than mine. So I'm passing on that recommendation, and it's also on my list. Sci-fi. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is a big one. This could upset a lot of people, but I think I've done great with my picks. I'm proud of these. The obvious pick for sci-fi is Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, I don't need to tell you anything about Cowboy Bebop, apart from that it's a bunch of bounty hunters that are chasing bounties and never have money. And it's great. Like, that was such a poor soul on Cowboy Bebop. The music's great. The characters are amazing. Faye Valentine. Fucking Faye Valentine. The must-watch. And I truly do believe this is a must-watch. Out of all the must-watches, this is definitely like top 3 and you have to watch it. And that is Neon Genesis Evangelion. Also could have put this in mech. There's reasons I didn't. Just fucking watch it. It's great. Teen pilots fight these creatures called angels. It's fucking sad, depressing, dark, very 90s. Watch it. And then the less obvious. You've probably heard of it. And if you've seen it, great. Impeccable taste. I started it this week as well. And it's partly the reason I'm decided to make this video. Because the show has been so sick. And that's Pluto. Yeah, I was literally only an episode in. And I was already gripped. And it's very poignant to today, the show, with how we deal with ethics and AI and shit. Like, it nails that to a T. Also, it's very rare that an anime has made me cry in its pilot episode. And somehow Pluto did that. So, please watch it. The next genre, similar to horror, is something I don't think anime does too well. But definitely better than horror. And that's comedy. Now, obviously, there are comedy animes out there. I personally don't enjoy most of them. So I've done a bit of a blend here. They don't go. They definitely are funny animes. Just wait. Obvious picks for me. Oh, there's 2 of them again. That's Gintama. You see that shit on any MyAnimeList. Right at the top. Every single Gintama season will be there. I haven't seen it, but it is the obvious pick. And then I had to include one I have seen, and that is One Punch Man. Not out and out a comedy, but it does have very funny comedic moments. The must-watches. Now hear me out. The first one is Rising Impact. Yes, I know what you're thinking. The golf anime on Netflix? Yes. The golf anime on Netflix. That show is top 3 funniest shows I've ever seen. I pissed myself laughing in almost every episode. And is it because I play golf? Maybe. But it's fucking so funny. I think that's his name, the main character. Going, so well written, so hilarious. And then the second must watch, almost exactly for the exact same reason, is Mashal. My god. That show had me in stitches almost every episode as well. I'd say they're pretty equal in terms of funniness. Yeah, watch it. They're both so funny. And then the slightly less obvious pick, even though Rising Impact should have been less obvious, but I do feel it's a must watch. The slightly less obvious pick is Golden Kamuy. If you haven't seen it, it's got great comedy aspects, but the fucking story and everything is so amazing as well. It is one of the best shows I've ever seen. Actually, in a way, the comedy detracts from how good it is, but the comedy is good. So, get on that shit. Also, they just did a live action, which I found really weird. Okay, now we're moving on to my personal favorite genre, and that is sports anime. Oh, I love sports anime, guys. The obvious pick. Yep, you said it. Haikyuu. Now, I'm not just saying that because Haikyuu is popular. Haikyuu is in my... Yeah, it's in my top 3. Fuck it. Haikyuu is in my top 3 favorite anime. And I'm currently on my second rewatch of it with a friend. And it's amazing. I've now watched it in sub and dub. Great either way. I don't need to explain. It's volleyball. It's volleyball, and volleyball means everything to these kids. Great show. The Must Watch. The Must Watch is also popular, but The Must Watch is also in my top 3. It switches. Haikyuu and this show switch between second and third in my top 3 all the time. And that's Hajime no Ippo. What a fucking show. Oh, I want to rewatch it so badly, but there's too many other things on my list. I don't even know what to say. It's got the fucking great 90s animation and vibe to it. The characters are good. It's funny. Fuck. What a show. And then the less obvious, I really enjoyed this show. And it might be because I played rugby growing up, but that's All Out. It is a rugby anime. Think of Bucky characters in a sports anime in high school. That's All Out. They are all ridiculously buff, and they all look like they've been bodybuilding for 10 plus years, even though they're like 14 to 17. It's great. Watch it. Next up, we're moving on to demographics. Shoujo anime. Now, I will be honest, also not a demographic, not a genre, that I'm too well versed in, but I have seen the obvious pick, and that is Fruits Basket. I don't want to say anything about it. Just watch it. It's really good. It has insane emotional storytelling, and the character arcs are good too, so watch it. The must watch is something I've been putting off for so long because of all the memes, but I know it's a must watch, so I will get there. And that is Banana Fish. Apparently when you finish Banana Fish, you become really depressed. And then the slightly less obvious pick is also something I haven't seen, and judging by its popularity on MyAnimeList, no one's fucking seen it, even though it's rated crazy high. That's Natsume's Book of Friends. Yeah. People love that show, the people who have seen it, so that's the less obvious pick. The next demographic is seinen, and you already know two of the shows that are going to be chosen for this. The obvious pick is Attack on Titan. Need I say more? It's a perfect show, but it's not as perfect as the must-watch. It ever so slightly loses out to the must-watch, in my opinion, and that is Vinland Saga. The only 10 out of 10 anime on my personal MyAnimeList. It's great. Please watch it. This is the ultimate must-watch for me. And then the less obvious pick is Kingdom. It's about an orphan who becomes a general in the Chinese army, and it's how do I explain it? It's like Age of Empires, the anime. Yeah, watch that shit. Then the final demographic, I know you're all waiting for it, Shonen. Wow, I've purposely left out a lot of shows you're expecting for Shonen because I want to talk about them separately. So for the obvious pick, I've not gone with the big three. I've not gone with Dragon Ball Z. I just remembered Hunter x Hunter. But my obvious pick of a popular shonen is My Hero Academia. Don't go. The show gets amazing. The people who dropped it too early because the show dipped, you missed out. You're that meme of the guy mining diamonds and turning around. Season 5, 6, and 7 have been, I don't even know how to explain. They've just been that good. My Hero went from such a bang average shonen to me for one of my top 5 shows ever. Fuck, it's so good. Please watch it. And then my my must watch is my final 5th place show, and that's Yu Yu Hakusho. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. If you've seen it, you know why I'm saying this. Yusuke is a great MC. Hiei, Kuwabara, what's the fucking fox's name? I can't think right now. Are amazing side characters. There's tournament arcs. There's a level of maturity that you don't get from other shonen. It's got the 90s vibe. It's just perfect. Watch it, please. My less obvious pick, and hear me out, you're gonna be like, this isn't shonen. That's because you're thinking of action. You're thinking of fighting. But Food Wars is amazing. It's an unorthodox battle shonen, so there isn't straight up fighting. They battle through cooking food. And I know that sounds boring, right? It's not. It's gonna make you want to take a fucking culinary class. It's so good. My girlfriend and I binged 4 seasons in... Was it 4 or 5? We binged all the seasons in like 2 weeks. It was so good. Now, I'll break down my actual top 5. I've already littered them through to this list. And the fucking order is tough. I swore so unnecessarily there. The order is tough because it swaps amongst the 5 all the time, except for number 1. Number 1 stays right where it is. But in 5th place, it's My Hero Academia, like I just said. In 4th place, Yu Yu Hakusho. Great show. Those two swap a lot. In third place, Hajime no Ippo. Second place, Haikyuu. All of those made the list. My number one falls amongst something called the Big Three. You may have heard of it. Everyone's heard of it. My number one favorite show is obviously Naruto. And I'm not finished with One Piece yet, but it's fucking climbing the ranks in my favorite show. There are a few arcs that have been slow. It's keeping it a bit further down in my ranks. And I feel like if I read the manga, it'd be way better. So I rate you watch the new One Piece show that's going to come out if you haven't seen One Piece, because it's going to fix every Toei issue that One Piece has. But yeah, my number one is Naruto. One Piece is really good, and apparently Bleach is amazing, and that I'm going to watch. So watch the fucking Big Three if you want to get into shonen. And even before you watch the Big Three, watch Dragon Ball Z, the father of the Big Three, kind of. Great show. Aged kind of badly, especially Dragon Ball. And that's besides the point. It's like a bit of homework, a bit of fun homework. You have to watch it, and it's great. And then finally, the anime I think you have to see. I've already mentioned it today. The holy grail anime is Attack on Titan. It's the fucking Breaking Bad of anime. I know that's not a hot take in any way. Many people have said that. And I know I only rated it a 9 out of 10 on my anime list, but I do think it is the most widely accepted best anime you can watch. I prefer Vinland Saga, but that's for very personal reasons. If we're talking about the masses, it's gotta be Attack on Titan. If you're gonna pick one show from this video to watch, and you haven't seen Attack on Titan, watch Attack on Titan. It's so good. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe. Please do like the video, and I'll see you next week. Peace.